my name's Hannah, and today with Marie, we're going to be presenting on Starbucks career development opportunities and room for improvement. So, Howard Schultz once said, "You can't expect your employees to exceed the expectations of your customers if you don't exceed your employees' expectation of management." Schultz knew that the key to unlocking employees' potential was by contributing to their well being and demonstrating that they are more than a paycheck or a name tag, and more than just a barista that poured you your fresh cup of coffee this morning. Now, Starbucks is known for its high quality coffee, diverse staff, welcoming environments, and wide array of benefits. However, the company does offer plenty of career development opportunities, and yet partners or employees are often left feeling trapped and stuck within one location and unable to advance within their positions. Because of this, employee morale is low, motivation and engagement is suffering, and organizational productivity is struggling to meet demands. In this report, we're going to analyze and evaluate the possibilities of career development within Starbucks. We will highlight the opportunities that are provided and focus on why these are not being exploited to their fullest. Through conducting surveys and speaking with staff from across the nation, we have determined 3 core problems that seem to undermine this potential for development and hinder personal advancement. In summary, on our research, we will analyze other companies with similar opportunities and design a better way to implement these vocational development strategies. Through this study, we hope to better understand the strengths and weaknesses of the organization and authentically evaluate what can be done better to support individual development and staff engagement and to create a diversely innovative company where everyone has a chance to develop. Now, receiving such prestigious awards as World's Most Ethical Companies and World's 50 Most Innovative Companies, Starbucks is widely known and globally acknowledged for their extensive career opportunities. Starbucks boasts of ethically sourced coffee, which they also partner with farmers on providing a coffee tree for every bag that's purchased. Employees are also granted the opportunity to attend Arizona State University online and receive tuition reimbursement while working towards certain degree career paths. And Starbucks also pays above minimum wage while providing health insurance plans, financial assistance programs, and employee support initiatives. Starbucks also offers internships with the company's technological and support centers, which provides extensive opportunities for individuals to launch their careers and pursue a career within corporate centers. All across the globe, Starbucks continues to open new buildings, providing more opportunities for jobs, as well as contributing to their communities. But to what extent is the company actually living according to these values? We wanted to analyze their commitment to ethics, diversity, and sustainability and see how they're actually pursued within the workplace and experienced throughout employee development. Now, personally for me, I worked for Starbucks for 3 years. After working there for 2.5 years or so, about 2 years, I was promoted to barista trainer, and then following that, I was promoted to shift supervisor. Despite the stressful times of handling, barista conflict and providing customers with even the most extreme of demands, I can ultimately say that employees do frequently feel challenged in new ways every day to push both themselves and their team. While I did experience the wide range of benefits that were offered, I also saw a lot of wasted potential, unclear and at times confusing communication, and a decreased commitment to employee career development plans. Now, after I heard similar complaints from other workers, we decided that we wanted to really evaluate and dig deep into why it appeared this way, or why employees believed that there weren't many career development opportunities. So our team has decided to evaluate and determine why this organization, with such ideal aspirations and corporate plans for career development, seemed to be lacking at the basic store level. In order to better understand these implications, we put together a plan that would determine what the core problem was, why there was this gap between policy and practice, and we wanted to draw conclusions from other successful and similar organizations to better employ successful methods of career development plans. In doing this, we desire to help the company learn about better ways to help their employees experience the full range of career development opportunities and ultimately exploit these opportunities so that employees can develop their careers within Starbucks and then ultimately contribute and give back to the company. So the first step to addressing these organizational structural flaws was not to determine necessarily solutions, but to properly identify what the core problem was. According to the textbook Organizational Behavior by Nahavani, Dinhart, and Aristigueta, problems with organizations aren't necessarily based on having too many solutions, but actually trying to solve the wrong problem. So when this occurs, time, energy, and efforts are ultimately channeled, and temporary solutions are found, but lasting difficulties remain. So what was the problem? If there were ample opportunities that Starbucks provided in one's vocational calling within the company, why was it that employees at the store level were still viewing their roles as only part-time transitions rather than these possible new beginnings? We decided that to better understand employee concerns, we needed to get out and speak with current employees. One of the problems of running such a globally expansive and incredibly diverse company means that oftentimes goals that are set at the top get stuck in the pipe as they trickle down to lower levels of management. So we want to know why these employees that were at the bottom essentially were not realizing all of the potential options that were laid out before them. And this was where we identified the core problem that was causing this blockage in the system. What was stopping staff from advancing and recognizing the extensive network of possibilities that Starbucks offered them. At this point, we determined that it was necessary to interview current employees and look for repeat patterns that were indicative of missed career opportunities. Before interviewing, however, we researched key ways that companies can promote vocational advancement to see what traits were popular and thus what Starbucks was not paying enough attention to. In one article, it said that career development plans are equally important to employees as to organizations. And promoting career development opportunities, organizations can attract talent and reduce employee churn and employee turnover, which is a big problem for Starbucks. When companies promote these development opportunities, they actually encourage employee self-development and help these organizations discover and use their top talent. In a similar conclusion from another article, we found that company provision of career development opportunities strengthens team cohesion, and ultimately contributes to organizational success. According to these articles, one of the main factors when it came to actively focusing on career development was promoting resources for continual development. This can be accomplished through various means, so cross-training, so that employees can learn more about each other's roles, and encouraging understanding of company policies and history. Another key element that we determined for advancing employee involvement was investing in training so that employees are knowledgeable and engaged within their organizations. Clear communication of goals and individualized personal development plans also contributed to employee success and vocational advancement, meaning companies that regularly set time to go over individual development plans and actually meet one-on-one with employees experienced greater retention of these employees and future development of the organization and of individuals. So with these methods in mind, we set out to understand individual perspectives on career development within Starbucks, and we began conducting surveys and interviews. Excuse me. So upon analyzing notes from interviews and drawing on common themes within these individual viewpoints, we located 3 core problems that we associate with this lack of understanding, or maybe just general confusion about employee development programs offered by Starbucks. So the 3 problems were a lack of communication regarding personal development and future goals, limitations within in-store positions, and then an abandonment of accountability due to personal biases. So communication was probably one of the top noted complaints within the organization. One employee stated that, quote, communication could be better. There are a lot of opportunities at Starbucks, but beyond shift supervisor, assistant store manager, and store manager, no one talks about them. Another employee commented, noting that they didn't even know if Starbucks offered internship opportunities or chances to work with branding and licensed stores. And so quite a few employees or partners complained that even though they discussed wanting to draw out these career development plans with their managers, they were never actually given time to clearly communicate and proactively plan goals for professional growth. This is another quote, store managers should be following through with development plans and recognizing others when going above and beyond, end quote. That was from another employee. And they noted that because of these failures in communication, career possibilities outside the store were not getting regularly discussed, and employees were left thinking that the only possibility of career development within the store was limited to managing a Starbucks store. And that was believed to be the only future job opportunity that was presented to them. So without this clear communication and regular establishment of personal and organizational goals, partners are left feeling trapped. They feel stuck within the company. And this is why Starbucks ultimately needs to encourage managers to actively share career opportunities within the company with their employees. And store leaders ultimately need to take initiative to encourage employees to embrace and employ their natural talents. While we recognize that not everyone in CEO positions or higher up at corporate can see every individual employee's personality and development patterns, this is ultimately left to the discretion of store managers, store leaders, shift supervisors. But again, if this isn't clearly being communicated, then employees are not going to understand the extent to which they can develop within the company. So not only were employees also limited to a select few roles within the organization, but they're also limited in terms of benefits. For instance, one person noted that they wanted to pursue getting their degree through Arizona State Online, but Starbucks only allows people without bachelor degrees to get a bachelor's degree. And while we understand that this makes sense in the sense, you don't want to waste money on someone that's getting another bachelor's degree, if someone, say, had a degree that wasn't useful and they wanted to get a bachelor's degree in business and management and marketing, it would be really essential and ultimately would contribute back to the organizational effectiveness. Starbucks also only offers tuition reimbursement for certain degree programs. Again, that makes sense because you want to further degrees that are going to ultimately help your organization. But again, Starbucks managers should be encouraging employees to take advantage of the free college to expand their abilities and develop key organizational skills that will benefit the company both short term and in the long run. But perhaps the biggest impediment to career advancement within Starbucks lies within toxic management and personal biases. Now, I want to state that I know that not all management has issues, and there are plenty of good managers, but multiple partners did complain that time and time again they've expressed interest in promoting to shift or assistant store manager, and yet were passed over by someone who maybe was less qualified, but was more likable and friendly, according to the manager or whoever was in charge. So the same employee that actually drew attention to this noted that promotions should be based more on who is capable of the task, not just those who have fun personalities. While Starbucks is face-to-face and you do want to have definitely extroverted people, I think that by only limiting promotions to people that seem more outgoing and more friendly will cause you to skip over people that might be a little more introverted, but that have a better understanding of how to critically apply certain tasks, certain roles. And because managers are more likely to promote those that they like more and are more extroverted, there's an overall lack of accountability. And this was one of the key problems was that multiple employees mentioned that there was no incentive at all to work better or to work harder. Starbucks actually used to do periodic performance reviews and conducted performance-based pay raises, but recently they've decided to give everyone a pay raise at the same time. Well, this is good for equality. Those who work harder are not recognized and ultimately are not appreciated compared to those who frequently show up late, call out sick, and show a complete disregard for their job. So someone who's been there for 5 years will get paid as much as someone who just started. And ultimately, there's no incentive to set oneself apart from their coworkers based on their work ethic. One employee who is also a shift supervisor noted that even though they were always on time to their shift, were willing to stay extra, that they noticed other employees who were walking in late, who had a complete lack of regard for their fellow employees and for the company, were never necessarily punished. And again, not that we're advocating punishment, but there's no sense of accountability. And ultimately, promoting positive psychology in the workplace, so encouraging people that are there always on time, providing people with these performance-based reviews will contribute to organizational success and career development because employees can see their potential. When we're not regularly monitoring and actively meeting with employees and managers are neglecting this responsibility, then employees have no incentive to work better, and they feel that, again, they're stuck and trapped within the confines of the store. So ultimately, they're not being exposed to extra opportunities outside of the store, at corporate or with licensing. There's a lack of communication, and ultimately managers need to be held more accountable for promoting individual assessment.